Welcome to the Bird Gang Nation Sports Media Show, repping the greatest team of all time. Let's go! Bird Gang 31, he be the host with the most. We going deep, burning teams. They ain't nothing but toast. It's in your rest there. Sirianni put me in coach, running like Miles Sanders till I bump my head on the post. Touchdown! Yeah, that's coming. Devontae's crazy route running. Jalen hurting them, throwing lasers to break a young gunning. Come on! On the D side, we ride, sack him with Fletcher, lay him out on the stretcher. No one can protect you. Watch Darius lay him, shutting down your routes. Come on! In my green John, eating Philly cheesesteaks. Put up your cups, wings up, if you can relate. Tailgating at the link, like and subscribe to the Bird Gang Nation, that's worldwide.
Welcome to another episode of Bird Gang Nation Sports Talk. I'm your host, Bird Gang 31. Today, we have a very special guest, Nation. We have Leonard Weaver, all-pro, Pro Bowl fullback, Mr. Leonard Weaver. How you doing today, my guy?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, man. I was happy we were able to get this, live going. I'm a huge fan. I play running back myself, so, I always like all the running backs throughout the league. And for the Eagles, you definitely did some good things for us. You put your work in there.
I appreciate it, man. Yes, it's definitely been a journey. When I look back, sometimes I think to myself how blessed I was to actually be in the league and to make it to the league. And I'm very thankful for the experience and the guys that I was able to develop relationships with and able to look, be proud of what I was able to accomplish.
Nice. Yeah, you did some good things, man. So tell us, I heard that you weren't even a running back like in high school and college or whatnot.
No, I actually, in high school I was, but then they moved me to quarterback. So as far as college goes, no, man, when I came into high school or from high school to college, I was actually an all-around player, safety, running back, quarterback, whatever they need me to play. And they put me at actually linebacker. Made a few plays in training camp, freshman and sophomore year, and then they asked me to move my sophomore year to tight end.
Tight end, nice. That's why you get your pass catching ability, right? You know what I'm saying? We know you have to catch it more on catching fullbacks as opposed to, you bruised too, but you definitely caught a lot of passes there. How was it coming to the league? Like, what would you say was the biggest challenge for you? Going from college, being a tight end, going to the league to Seattle over there.
I would say the biggest adjustment for me was the speed of the game. Clearly coming from a small D2 school at Carson Newman, you're not facing the talent of an SEC caliber player or players at that, so the speed of the game was quite different. The second thing is playing in front of loads of people. At Carson Newman, man, you may have gotten at the time when I was playing there, 500 people. You can kind of hear your mom and brother talking about what was going on for, the week after the game, so those were some of the noticeable changes. But then the last thing was the preparation. For me, being a tight end and learning the system of a veer, doesn't quite prep you for, the league and what you may do in the league. So it was a transition, but it taught me a lot. It taught me to be appreciative. It taught me, to always, how to learn how to face adversity and change without it being, something that destroyed me or my attitude towards anything. So I learned a lot of good lessons, but those are the main things that I would say were big changes for me.
Nice. So what about like the playbook of one night? I know you went to Seattle. How was that jump? Transitioning to fullback, soaking up, that offense over there.
It was a huge difference. Clearly, like I said earlier, at Carson Newman, we were running the veer. Man, they're, in the Veer offense, usually tight ends don't catch the ball. And I guess my coaches saw something in me and of course expanded my role. But with that, I didn't have to, have as much to worry about as far as playbook is until I got to the league. It was a whole different ball game, learning and adjusting and understanding. I mean, the formations alone and along with the play call and then certain things that you just have to know about the play. It was a major change.
Yeah, man. I bet. What position did you like most?
Wow. I tell you what, I don't think I was really quite ready for fullback. To be honest with you, I don't know if I made that transition as well at the beginning, but I would have to say I enjoy playing tight end. I enjoy playing fullback. My biggest thing though was trying to make myself valuable. Not just
Hmm.
being one of those players who do one thing, but trying to make myself valuable enough to where, I was going to put somebody else on the hot seat versus myself. So for me, gaining knowledge has always been something that I've thrived at.
Hmm.
Learning how to do multiple things, but mastering one thing at a time is something that I've always been good at. So I just, I chose to take the path of trying to, use that as an advantage, and glory be to God that it worked out.
Yeah. What was your competition going into Seattle? Was Sean Alexander there when you were there?
Yeah, in the backfield at that particular time, of course, the starters was Sean Alexander, Max Strong. You had Mo
Hmm.
Morris, who played at Oregon, and
Hmm.
those were the three backs at the time when I was coming out. As far as in the room, as far as my fullback competition, it was really at the time just Max Strong. And then, of course, Seattle drafted a tight end from Iowa by the name of Tony Robinson, I believe, who played there, about 6'3", 265. And then the following year, they drafted another guy named David Kirkman. But those were pretty much the guys that were in the room that year that I came in.
And when did you know that you can take over the position and play at a high level?
Honestly, man, it had to be probably after my first year. Really, I was still kind of figuring things out. I was always prepared, but I didn't quite have that confidence. Going in my first camp, I was playing against guys like, Lofa Tatupu. Clearly,
Hmm.
that name sticks out. Leroy Hill, Kevin Bentley. We had Ken Hamlin on the back end, Marcus Trufant. We had guys on that defense, Grant Wistrom, Bryce Fisher, Rocky Bernard, Marcus Tubbs. We had a defense, man, that was that had players of such high caliber and respect. They made it real difficult for me, and they let me know too. They let me know as a rookie, like, hey, boss, you're gonna have to tighten up when you come in here. But it was an experience that I cherished. But I would have to say, going into my second year, when I had a year under my belt of experience in terms of playing in the game, whether it was special teams and getting my opportunities at fullback, it was my second year where I realized the ability that I had. And that all came through my coach, really Stump Mitchell. Stump Mitchell put a lot of time into me. He believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. He really kept me ahead of the curve in terms of the expectations that were expected of me by the front office and the coaching staff. So, it was my second year where I really noticed, okay, this is mine, and whoever come in here gonna have to take it.
Yeah, right. Who gave you that first hit, that welcome to football hit? Welcome to the NFL hit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gets it.
Yeah,
Everybody gets
no, everybody does.
that.
Yeah, I would have to say it was Tracy White, man. We were doing a short yardage drill, and I caught a pass out the backfield, and Tracy at the time, smaller linebacker, but ran like a 4.3, I believe. He clocked that. Played at HBCU. Never forget. Rung my bell, man. I actually almost couldn't make it back to the huddle. I had a concussion. But that was that welcome to the moment as far as practice. But as far as the game, man, it would have to be Jeremiah Trotter my first year.
Yeah, Trotter. We
Yeah,
love him over
Trotter.
here.
Yeah, man,
The
he was
X Man.
screaming all the way up on the other side of the line. I'm coming. You better get ready, baby. I mean, he just talking all kind of noise and trash. So that Monday night game versus Philly, we beat him, but it was definitely a wake up moment, man. That guy was bringing the wood, baby.
Yeah, Trotter, man. That guy.
Oh,
I'm still waiting for the Eagles to get a linebacker like Trotter. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I'm
Look,
still waiting for him to
I,
find one
I'm gonna
in
be
a
honest with
draft
you,
or
man.
somewhere. There's
Yeah,
not too many Trotters out there.
maybe he's on his way up, from high school now. But I tell you, it's hard to find a guy who can move, who can hit, who's a natural born leader, who people flock to, look to for direction. He was a great teammate for the time that he came back when I was there, man. It was great going against him in practice, and and just watching him play, man. And those, like I said, incredible leader, incredible person.
And when you started, were you just like, okay, I'm here, I'm starting fullback, I'm just gonna do whatever they want, or did you ask for the ball? You know what I'm saying? Okay, now give me the ball. Let me show you what I can do. Or were you just more like, okay, I'm gonna take what you give me. We're gonna rock with it.
Yeah, I was always take what you give me. My background for me has always been whatever the team needs. That's literally always been my attitude. I've never been a guy that begged for the ball, but I knew that I had to make the best of whatever opportunity they was going to give me, which would probably force their hand to give me other opportunities. So for me, it was always trying to be on point as much as I can, and limiting my mistakes and limiting the coaching points that they need to put on me, so that they can say, no, he's a guy that we can trust. He's a guy that we believe that's going to get the job done, and trying to make my brand be that.
And when did because there's two types of fullbacks. You know what I'm saying? There's the ones that just do all the blocking. You know what I'm saying? You don't even worry about them getting the carry.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
or
right.
you got I feel like you were more like the all stack type fullback where you did. He might have did a little bit more running than you. Probably did a little bit more catching than he did. You know what I'm saying? But that type of versatile fullback that I'm not just here to block. You got to worry about me, game plan me too. Like, when do you think that moment kicked in for you?
Probably from day one. I knew what I possessed, and that's what I spent majority of my time working on, is my blocking skills. Obviously, never playing the position. Being a tight end in college and in high school, playing running back, playing fullback, and doing a little bit of everything. Those are the transitions are way different. So blocking is where I spent majority of my time. I knew I possessed the ability to run. I knew that I could catch the ball. I knew I could run routes, which all obviously came from being able to play tight end. I just needed to add the piece to be able to pass, protect, and actually run block. So those are the things that I actually, constantly was working on throughout my career.
Did you get bigger for the blocking, or did you stay around the same size? Like, how much were you playing at that time?
You know what? At the time when I first came in the league, I was about 285. I was a little bigger, playing tight end in college, but I was still running a sub 4.5, so I was still moving very well. But after playing some special teams and the strength and conditioning at the time in Seattle, Coach Crine, he informed me that I need to drop some pounds to be able to move.
Right, 285.
Yeah, it's like you need to drop
boy.
about 30 pounds, man. You can't move out there. So when that happened, man, I felt good. So I tried to play between 242 and about that 250 mark. Try to stay between that weight because I felt better. I felt like I can run better. I felt like I was a little bit more elusive, all around just in what I was doing. So it actually ended up working out better for me playing at that weight.
Nice. And when did you give your first big block? Do you remember who that was on where you just destroyed them? And probably a star player. We don't care about the scout team guys. Do you remember any laid a big block or anybody that was a namer?
You know what? I can't really name a specific guy. There's a few hits that I had, of course, during the preseason. That I think kind of put me on the map a little bit, but I couldn't remember the guys who were playing at the particular time. I remember having good games against some pretty good linebackers. Patrick Willis, of course. When I say yeah, man, I mean,
that's a beast.
High regards for him. Much respect for him.
Yeah, I
enjoyed playing against him. I don't know how he feels about playing against me, but I know that we always push each other to the max. The Urlachers back, when he was a little older, kind of coming in out of his, out of his prime. I had a chance to play against some great linebackers, so I can't say there was a moment where I just, that I remember just killing somebody in terms of the name, because I'd be too psyched out to even, remember. Yeah, man, I'd be talking trash and going on, but so no, I wouldn't be able to name a guy, but I know it's a few out there for sure.
There's a few out there for sure. Now, you stayed in Seattle for about 4 years, 5 years?
Yeah, it was about 4 years. My last year, it was contract time, and there was negotiations going on, but for me, as always, that wasn't a discrepancy in terms of me being vocal about it or trying to, come on and make a big blast about it. My big thing was, if they like me, they'll pay me, and if they don't, then they'll let me go. And when I hit free agency, that's what ended up happening.
And when you hit it, where did you place yourself in the fullback? Do you think you were the best fullback You know what I'm
Not a
saying?
question. Yeah, not a question. I
Mm-hmm.
know McLean was in Baltimore at the time, who had actually a great season running the ball the year before.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like, I wasn't in the market getting the visibility that he was getting in terms of, being seen, and so, and then of course I didn't have a 1,000-yard rusher at the time, and we were kind of trading. So, I felt like for sure I was the best running back or fullback rather in the league based on the plays, the amount of plays. I also played a lot of third down. My third down completion in terms of getting the third down and the turnover for that. I felt like I led in all those areas, so fourth down efficiency. So for me, absolutely, it was no question that I was the best.
So was Philly just the only choice? Like, what were you choosing in between before you decided to actually pick Philadelphia?
There were several teams at the time that I was sitting down, talking contracts with, and thinking money. At that time in my life, of course, money. Your first big contract is really important, but the
Mm-hmm.
most important thing to me was culture, team, market. And then where I could build myself. And there was, the Raiders there. The Packers were there. Minnesota was there. There were teams that were really good teams that I thought about. But I felt like, as far as the turnover for me, being able to jump into the offense quickly without
Mm-hmm.
question and being able to learn it right away, I felt like Philly was the best place. Coming from Holmgren system and then being able to
Mm-hmm.
go right to Andy, to me, it was a no-brainer. I felt like I can come in there right away and not just contribute as a fullback, but I could be able to contribute on third downs. I just felt like the systems matched in terms of the playbook style and the way the plays were called, and it was just a better transition. And of course, the market was bigger. You're
Yeah.
talking about at the time Giants, Philly, Washington. So to me, and the Cowboys. So to me, those were really the determining factors for me making that decision versus the other teams. While they were great teams, I felt like I would get the best opportunity for my not only my money, but also for me having that quick turnover from the offseason going into the season.
Yeah. And that first year, what was it, 09?
Yeah.
Oh nine,
Yeah.
man. That's it. That's where you see all these all
Yeah.
pros, Pro Bowl. You know what I'm saying? That was a special year for you, man. Tell me about it.
Man, no, it was a very special year. First coming in, being able to sign there, man, Philly just welcomed me with open arms. It was love from the get go. I feel like we had a kingsmanship there where we understood, hey, I'm a blue collar guy who's gonna come in, do my job. You're not gonna hear much from me. You're just gonna see my work. I think we identify with that much. I'm not going to be a guy that's going to be in the locker room causing problems and issues, and that's just not me. And I think that those things kind of sealed it for me in Philly when in terms of our relationship. But being able to get to meet Andy and hear from Westbrook and McNabb, I got a chance to go out and work out with those guys once I signed in Arizona. I love the culture, and for me it was like I said, a no brainer, man. It was an experience that I'll never forget, man, and something I will cherish for the rest of my life.
How was that relationship with Westbrook?
It was good,
Because we
man.
love Westbrook.
Uh,
Then like in terms of all-time Eagles teams,
you know
every
what?
show I
He'll
get everybody's
probably
all-time Eagles team and Westbrook name. Him, Shady.
look.
Those are two guys that definitely always at the top of the list there.
Let me tell you, man. Both first of all, both of those guys are insane. Both of them. No, man, it was great being in a room with them. I've always when I saw West play, when I say somebody's game, I respect it. I mean, this guy catch punts. This guy will go out and line up as a receiver, catch the ball, screens, run the ball. His game was something that I definitely wanted my game to be at. Except me being, of course, a bigger guy.
Mhm.
Watching him play, man, was literally like poetry. I mean, watching him make moves and constantly putting the team on his back when he was, it was a treat for me. Our first game together was actually in Philly against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Is when I scored actually my first. Matter of fact, it might have been the Saints. And I remember we were on the goal line. Matter of fact, it was the Saints. We were on the goal line. And I'll never forget when I watched him walk in that morning game day, man. He walked in with he doesn't really say much. He never
Mhm.
really said much. When he spoke, it meant something.
Mhm.
But this kind of Westbrook, when I saw him, I was like, where? I like this guy. This guy is nuts. I love this guy. He came in with a pail full of Red Bull. He was like, let's go, baby. Let's go. I was like, oh, yeah, let's do this, man. And I mean, on the field, energy beyond energy. That goal line play we had against the New Orleans Saints, he was in the backfield. We were on the goal line. He was in the backfield yelling to me, "Weave, let's go get it. Let's go." I mean, just all this energy and force coming from behind me, and on to me, man, just really drove. So for the few moments that I had with Wes, it was absolutely awesome, worthwhile. I really wish he was around longer. But of course, circumstances kind of happen in life. But I enjoyed my time with him. And Shady, another, coming in as a young man, the first couple of years, actually that year with Westbrook, he ended up taking over later on. And I remember me and Andy having a conversation. Andy brought me and was like, "Listen, we got this young kid in Shady, he's our future, but we may need you to kind of help him out until he, gets himself together in terms of the playbook and stuff." And I tell you, I was able to step in, which catapulted me to the year I had, and split some time with Shady. But playing with him was great. Watching his entire career unfold was unbelievable. I mean, we knew he was going to be, Hall of Fame type running back, just by how he was moving in practice. And as you can see today, you see what kind of player he was and how he produced. It was phenomenal to watch him grow.
It was better.
Oh man, I get that question all the time, and the last time I answered that question, I said Westbrook. But my listen, my reasoning is the thing I want people to check out. I felt like Westbrook did everything.
Yeah.
Pass protection well. You can split him out, let him play receiver well. He can come out the backfield and catch the screen well. He was on third down. He'll run that ball down your throat. He can do the zone. He can throw a pass. So to me, when I look at players, I look at in terms of versatility, in terms of the importance of the team. How much did you do to help the team win? And I'm not saying Shady didn't help the team win. I'm just saying, for me, I think they're two caliber different players. I think Shady is good at what he does, phenomenal at what he does, and Westbrook was good too. So that's my reasoning behind why I chose Westbrook.
Hey, it's a good reason that both either answer works, man. Both of those guys are two Eagle greats, man, back there. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, they did their own thing. You got the Swiss Army knife and Westbrook, and then you just got Shady juke you out of your socks anytime he wants to, type thing.
Well, cut on the dime. He's just to be able to stop and go. He just phenomenal, and that's something that I know Wes that wasn't his thing. His thing was he's more of a smooth runner. He's gonna get in and out. So like I said, man, both of those guys phenomenal, man.
Either one of them harder to block for, since Shady was caught stopping on a dime, cutting like that, or you just did your job and you let them. They didn't worry about what they did behind you because you knew they were.
They were such phenomenal block readers. They understood the defense. They were able to what's up, baby? I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. They were phenomenal block readers. They did such a phenomenal job setting me up to make my blocks. And I think nowadays a lot of running backs, well, let me correct that. The younger running backs who come up and only see Sunday think that it's just I hit the hole. But these guys study defenses to understand that when this play is moving this way, I'm setting my guy up for this, or I'm setting my O-line for that. So those guys, to me, both of them, Westbrook and Shady, I think they were ahead of their time in terms of being able to do that, man, because that helps fullbacks, that helps O-line tremendously. And I don't think people really understand that. When you have a running back who understand the blocking scheme and understand what the play is designed to do and who guys are working to, and those guys can play off of that, it makes life 10 times easier.
And you blocked for Sean too, right, in Seattle?
Yep. Yeah.
So the next question is, who's the better running back out of that group? We got blocking for Sean or blocking for Wes, baby?
You know what? Me and Sean, honestly, we actually didn't spend as much time together. It was really him and Mac that really catapulted them into that MVP season. Me and Mo Morris, we were more of the workhorses that finish out the game, So, but when I did have an opportunity to run with him, Sean was a downhill runner. He was also a guy who was phenomenal at understanding the defenses and where the holes were, how to get guys to move in position to help us block. And of course, it does help when you have an O-line with, Walter Jones on the left, Steve Hutchinson, Robbie Toback at center, Chris Gray at guard, and Sean. That helps, man. So it was great when I got a chance to block for Sean. But both of those guys, like I said, they're phenomenal in their own rights and
Yeah.
clearly Hall of Fame candidates. I believe, hands down.
You know, I'm always trying to get my Eagle votes in.
Yeah.
So tell me about that season in general. You know what I'm saying? Like, did you know did you, like you said, you felt that there was a good fit for you?
Yeah.
You know, did you know that you could put those type of numbers up? Or was that just more towards the point that you had to take over that role? You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like even if you didn't have to, take the lead, you would have still put up, Pro Bowl numbers that year if Westbrook won that one now?
Honestly, I don't think I was. I was a little concerned because when we started the season, I knew Andy then knew what I could do, but I hadn't had a chance to really show him. And so it was a little tough at times because I was just doing first and second down and then special teams. But the minute that Andy called me and was giving me that opportunity, for me, I knew once I got a chance to show them live and in person what it was that they were seeing in the film when they were looking at me and possibly wanting to bring me in, that it was true, then I knew then my opportunities would go up. And I think it was really a godsend blessing. Not that Westbrook got hurt, but that I had an opportunity to show what I could do. And I don't know.
Their numbers were good in Seattle too.
Yeah, no.
You're already a good fullback, you know what I'm saying?
And a lot of that came my first and second year where, like I said, we were finishing the back half of games. Matt Hasselbeck was, awesome in terms of checking the ball down, because in the system, West Coast system, that's why they want those backs to be able to check down, because when we catch the ball, we'll get 8 or 9 yards, man. We're trying to turn those chains over. So, I think I'm glad it happened, but I'm not sure if it would have happened if Westbrook hadn't gone down and Andy had not asked me to step up.
And how was it, going to your first Pro Bowl? What was that experience like?
It was phenomenal, man. I enjoyed it.
Was that the year we had a bunch of Pro Bowlers from Eagles?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, it was.
We had like 12 or something. Huh?
Yeah, it was a bunch.
Yeah.
It was awesome, man. It really was. I got a chance, being from Florida, bring all my family down. It was awesome because it was in Miami that year. So all my family came down to be around some of the guys like Aaron Rodgers. That was great connecting with him. Clay Matthews, man, was a guy that I was actually looking forward to meeting because he was having a crazy year. And I just wanted to meet the guy with the long blonde hair to find out who he was.
Sunshine.
So, it was great meeting him. And then, of course, to be in the backfield with some of the greats like, Adrian Peterson, Frank Gore, at the time, D'Angelo Williams. Man, getting to know those guys, man, it was actually a really good time. I had an awesome time being down there. So.
And did you know about the All Pro at that point too already? Or was
I didn't. I did not, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even think I was really fully prepared when everything happened. I was just happy to be where I was in terms of just in the position to play the game. I was really appreciative, man, just for the fact that here it is. You got a Division II guy who made it to the Pro Bowl. To me, I was still kind of in that off phase. Like, I can't believe I'm playing with Aaron Rodgers. I can't believe I'm playing with Donovan McNabb, Westbrook. I can't believe that, I got a chance to play against one of the guys that I love in Brian Dawkins. He was there when I went there because he's my favorite player and defensive player, rather. And Jerry Rice is my guy as far as offense. But, I got to play against him. So, to me, it was – I don't think I really understood it and really – brought it in until probably after I got back from the Pro Bowl and realized what was going on. And it was a great feeling to sit back and think my peers and other coaches and the colleagues think this highly of me to give me this award and accolade. It was phenomenal, man. It was a great feeling.
Yeah, man, that would be awesome, man. Be All Pro. Who was in that Pro Bowl with you at fullback?
Nobody. I was the only fullback. Yeah, we had 3 running backs, and it was Adrian Peterson, Frank Gore, and D'Angelo. Our quarterback at the time, who started, I believe, was Aaron Rodgers. And of course, our O-line. I mean, I couldn't remember all those guys. I know we had Fitzgerald at receiver. I mean, we had some great receivers too. Man, that team was crazy. It was just nuts for the team we had that year. So, it was a great year, man.
Nice. Now you got the Pro Bowl. Let me give my boy a question. He said, what was your best game as an Eagle?
Wow. if I had to really think, as far as rushing and catching, it was the Giants game home that we played, where I got a chance to rush the ball. I think it was 17 times for 68 yards, something like that. Had some catches, few touchdowns. I think that was kind of the coming out party for me, where I was able to kind of showcase my ability and talent at the link, and it was really unbelievable to me. Honestly, the first carry I think I had, it was a touchdown. Matter of fact, the play kind of was a little confusing. I think with Don at the time, we called the play one way, and I think he was audibling at the line. And if you look at the film on the video on YouTube, I'm in the back like, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. And then I was like, I was about to step up to ask him. And he's like, don't worry about it. Just go the other way. Go the other way. So I was like, And if you look at me, I pause a little bit to see. I'm really literally reacting off of how he turns. And I'm looking at the O-line. I'm like, oh, we're going to the left now. Okay, let me just step back this way. So maybe that paused the linebackers just a moment for me to get through that hole and break free. But it all worked out, man. And to be greeted in the end zone by Jackson and Avant and the O-line, Todd Harriman, man, it was a great feeling, man.
How was that line compared? Because you didn't go to the Pro Bowl with all the big Hutch and all them boys.
No.
How was it being behind that offensive line with the Eagles that
year? Jamal at center. I know we was kind of in between guards on the other side with Big Nick and a few other guys. Listen, I had to buy those guys a watch. I don't know if they remember, but I bought them all a watch. I don't even know if they still have it, but at the time, I wasn't big money then,
Right.
But I did want to show them a token of appreciation because it wouldn't happen without those guys. Nothing, and I remember having this conversation with Shady. At the end of the day, nothing happens unless those guys are doing their job. And we had the best line, period. Those guys busted their tail. I mean, man.
And most of them went to the Pro Bowl with you that year, didn't they?
Absolutely. No, they did, man. I mean, that O-line was crazy, man. So for me, like I said, it was a little token of appreciation, but I wanted to show them how much I really did appreciate them because that was a big moment in my life that they helped bring to the present for me. And if those guys are listening, hey, appreciate you guys, man. I love you guys, man, because I would have never been a part of history if it had not been for you guys.
Yeah. He said, did you ever run over Dawkins in practice?
Look, no, but I tried to in the game when we played them when the Broncos came to Philly. I definitely tried.
Yeah.
I definitely tried to give them the business. But let me tell you, man, that's a grown man. That's somebody. Look, man, that's somebody I respect. That is somebody that man I honor, man, and love, man, and don't even really know him. But the passion he played with, man, he's a competitor, and I definitely was trying to compete with him, and it was great trying to have an opportunity to do so.
Yeah, man, Dawkins, man, he just got a nice new Dawkins piece too, because that guy out there making all the chains like these things going on. He made him a custom made Dawkins Weapon X one. JC Eagles talk, man. He's crazy. You should definitely check his out.
Make a Leonard Weaver one too, then. All right?
We'll get one. Hey, I'm building my studio right now. I'm gonna tell him to give me a bunch of players. We'll get you a Leonard Weaver one up there. I'm gonna send you a picture of it.
That's nice. I'll take that.
So that was a great year. I think you re-signed a new contract right after that year, right? Became the highest paid fullback.
Yeah. It happened in April. It was some people were trying to start a little controversy, but like I said, I'm a guy that I believe this. Number one, if they really want me, they're going to take care of me. And I'm not going to start nothing in the media concerning that. That's just not how I do things. And they did. Andy, and at the time it was Joe Banner, I believe, who was operating at the time. GM rather, they took care of me, man. And they made that possible.
How was that off season? Did you feel like it was another all pro year coming up? Did you have that feeling?
Yeah, I did, man. Me and my trainer, God rest his soul, Bernard Watkins, he passed away actually December of last year. Man, I brought him up and we were at it. We were at it. I was hungry. I wanted again, and I wanted to make a statement, and I was going for an even bigger contract. I was trying to play literally out of my contract when I first got it because I owed it to not only myself, but my teammates and of course the front office who made that happen and my agent and so and family. So it was really important. I felt like it was going to be a huge year for me. Absolutely.
He was definitely a cheat code on Madden that year. He was definitely a cheat code on Madden that year.
We were just talking about that the other day, man. I think they said I was like a 90.
Yeah, you're 90 overall.
Like yeah, that's right, baby. That's
yeah, what?
tell them to bring me back on a new one, baby. Tell them to bring me back on a new one.
We need to get you back there. We need to get you on the MUT. Need an MUT card out there. You know,
that's
Ultimate Weaver, baby.
Make it happen, baby. Make it happen.
Yeah, we got to definitely talk to now that Madden go. We got to talk to them execs over there and see if they can make that happen for you. So then, what happened, man? Like, so walk us through it. Like, what was it? First game of the season, or was it?
It was first game of the year, man. And coming out the tunnel, ready to go. First call, my first run play of the game. Honestly, man, I probably should have stayed front side. For some reason, man, I ended up cutting back. I really don't know. I couldn't even looking back at the play. There was really nothing that told me to cut back. I don't know why I cut back, but I did. Before I knew it, I want to say it was BJ Raji, or Nick Barnett rather, who tackled me. He had my foot. It was stuck in the ground. I figured that I'd try to get out of it by making a play, but that thing wasn't moving, man. And next thing you know, all I hear is pop, 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 and this pain that shot up my leg all the way, to my hip and back down, and it resonated there for maybe about 30 seconds, and then it was gone. And I remember as I was laying there during that first 30 seconds, I was screaming because I literally thought my bone was out of my leg or something by the way, like the way Clay Matthews and them guys was getting up, and he was like, get off of him. I mean, Clay was like, really get guys off me, blah, blah, blah. And then they backed away, and I'm thinking the way they was looking like it's over.
Didn't even want to look down. You're like, oh,
yeah, I didn't want to look down. And as I was just laying there, man, I was just praying like, Lord, please don't let this be the end of my year. Don't let this be the end of my career, man. And sure enough, man, after, Rick Buckholder came out, he asked me, he said, hey, man, we're going to have to, get you on the cart and carry you off. And I told him, I said, man, listen, this might be my last play. You can't cart me off. I was like, I got to walk off because I'm going to play again. And sure enough, I think it was Roger Bunkley at that time and Stewart, the linebacker, who they helped me walk off to the sideline. And then I remember them bringing the cart out. And, when you see the cart, for me, that was kind of the sign that, that's not what you want. It can't be that good. But I tried to remain hopeful as possible. And I remember when they took me back and did the x-rays and the MRI, the doc came in and, I started to cry soon. I knew. As soon as he came in, just how he was looking, I kind of broke down, man, and they let me have my moment, and but they definitely told me, I'm done.
What was it? Like, what was it exactly? Was it like tore everything?
Yeah, well, at the time they just saw the ACL. They didn't know it was everything. They said it was just the ACL, and then of course my foot, at the time was drop foot, so I couldn't move it, and even when I was trying to move it in there, it wouldn't come up and down. So it's not until that following week where I went to Dr. Andrews, and they actually went in there and opened it up and saw that everything was done. ACL, MCL, PCL, the kneecap exploded, lost, ability to move my foot up and down. So had permanent drop foot. It was just a mess, man. And from there, coming right out of surgery, going into rehab, it kind of felt unreal. It really did. Being down there in Alabama, and it didn't really occur to me until around week, probably month 4, being in the wheelchair, and because I had to have 2 separate surgeries, one for the knee and then one for my foot, because they was trying to repair my foot. So I had several different surgeries, and after a while, month 7 or 8, going into the off season, it started to kind of hit me. Where I was, but I tried to remain as hopeful as possible. But, the Lord has some other plans for me in my life.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that's a rough situation right there, man. Like, was there ever a part where you're just like, maybe I can, if I push a little bit more, it can happen? Or was it just like you weren't even able to run or whatnot? Like, was that?
No, I wasn't able to run. But what I did, I went into like go mode once I was able to kind of lease, because the transition was at first, let's get the knee right, let's not worry about the foot, let's get the knee going. So when we started doing the rehab for the knee, things started coming together. But I was going 3 times a day, 7 days a week, literally. I was like, and shout out to Kevin Wilt, and those guys down there who helped me through that. Luke, Harrison, you guys know who you are. I'm so grateful for them and Dr. Andrew's staff. But we literally was going 3 days. I mean, we were trying to make it happen to come back. The knee got stronger, and then I had a setback with my foot. I had 2 setbacks with my foot, and that kind of pushed things out even more. So the frustration was building, but, I just try to remain as hopeful as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Hey, it saves you some wear and tear on the body, I guess, if you look at the bright side of that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you definitely have been tearing it up for years to come. Do you think with technology now, if this was has it advanced enough where you think it could have made a difference? Hindsight, not hindsight, but if we had the technology that we have today, you think they would have been able to get it so you could play again, or?
I probably. I think the person who's probably had the injury, we're probably as close to each other probably as it will ever be, is Alex Smith. Now as far as like what happened to him with the infection and all that, I didn't have that, which I know kind of set him back a lot.
Yeah.
But for me, I think I probably could have played, but to be honest with you, I don't think I would have been able to play at the level that I was once playing. And ultimately it came down to that decision for me was, if I go back out there, will I be able to compete against the DeMarcus Wares, against, those guys on the defense who play hard and who I know can compete. And after trying it a few times, I kind of knew. It hurt, but I kind of knew.
You get to go out there and do a little something in practice.
Yeah, and I would be doing any team, let alone the Eagles, a disservice to go out there and possibly get somebody hurt trying to be a warrior to the point where, I would get somebody hurt while being
even hurt. Worse, you can even mess up your leg even more.
Even more, absolutely. Even more,
and then you're not even walking no more. So
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel you on that, man. I understand, man. I just gave both my collarbones in semi-pro. Man, yeah, same thing like you, man. We went down to LA, took off down the sideline, nice to run, what I'm saying? Like, yeah, this about to be my game, what I'm saying? This about to be my game. It was like my 3rd year semi-pro, and I just came off of a knee surgery the year before. I'm like, I'm about to wreck shop out here, man. I'm going to get out there and do my thing. I was a whole new city. I was like, boom, hit that sideline like a 60-yard run, man. The safety got burned at the line, and he came flying back, and the other safety was back there. He was a deep safety. He came back and hit me and tackled me. So I'm like, whatever. That was a good run. And as soon as I went to pop back up, I put my arm down like this, to push yourself up. And as soon as I did that, he came flying down. He blasted me sideways. Like, wow, I'm pretty much on the ground still. No flag, no nothing. But the doctor said since I tried to muscle my way, because I was pretty strong, what I'm saying? I tried to muscle my way through the hit, because I seen in the last minute, I tried to flex on it. He goes, you should have probably just took it loose, because as soon as I did that, it popped out here, and I thought I just had a dislocated collarbone, but turned out, as soon as I took the pads off to check it out, everything just swelled up.
Wow.
Nothing left. You couldn't even get back in the game, nothing, man. That was horrible. Like, I understand, could have been worse. I still lived with it, because they were like, you couldn't get surgery for that. You kind of just got to let it work out and keep it in place, so I never ever got a surgery. Like, it's still dislocated a little bit right here, still a little bit right there, but I stay in shape,
Those are war wounds right there, baby.
Yeah, so I fully understand it. Like, you should have just took it. I'm like, no, man, I'm strong, I'm big, I was the strongest guy in California pound for pound, like, for 3 years in a row. Like, of course I'm gonna try to take it, but yeah, that was horrible. And I haven't really played football since then either,
No, man, yeah, I remember. I was home. I made it home, man, and I watched them play the game in Detroit, and watching them go out there and just crying, boohoo crying, man. Literally just sinking in the bed, kind of depressed about my future and what it meant, and just that I ain't gonna even be able to come out of the tunnel ever again. Those were the things that I enjoy, but those are often the messages that I teach and talk about with other players,
Mm.
my players, when I'm coaching them or training them, is you never know when your moment's going to come and when your time is up in terms of what you love to do. And so to make sure that they play and live their life, to the fullest without regret.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So what was that like the transition after you realized you're not playing anymore? Like did you already have things lined up where you knew what you want to kind of get to, or was it still like just an open experience? Like I wasn't thinking this was about to happen anytime soon, so you kind of had to just figure out what you wanted to do after that. How was that transition like?
I had a few things that was lined up, but I wasn't ready to let go of football.
Mm-hmm.
The for the first few years of me being hurt, it was a tough time for me. Really
Mm-hmm.
tough time, depressed and kind of just in and out, and didn't really stick to the things that I knew I wanted to do because I was still kind of, I almost want to say shocked, in
Mm-hmm.
shock about the fact that I would never return to the game that I gave so much to. But once I realized, that, within myself that I did give everything I had,
Mm-hmm.
that I played the game relentlessly, and that I have no regrets about it.
And he went out on a high level, all
You
pro,
know,
all, what I'm saying?
oh
Just came
man, it
off the
was a
season,
blessing.
all pro, pro bowler, your
Yeah,
highest pinnacle. Most guys don't get a
it
chance to
was.
do that too. Not saying that they wanted to, obviously, but
No, that's right.
like you ended on top. What I'm saying? There
No,
wasn't a
it
better
was.
fullback in the game when you ended. So that's always good, in terms of legacy. It's like, hey, I was the best until I couldn't do it no more. What I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that was
Well,
me.
for me,
That's,
I wanted it to be about it. I was thinking 10 years, man. If I could get, because, at one point, for me, you start thinking about the Hall of Fame. You start thinking about, of course, you want a Super Bowl. You want a Super Bowl. And I don't think there's a fullback in the Hall of Fame. If you think about it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe
did
there is.
All-Star go?
I don't know. He probably did,
I feel
but
like maybe
at the
All-Star.
time, while he had the fullback tag, they were really giving him halfback, but he's
He's a
still
running back, yeah. He
but
changed
he's
it
a
pretty
fullback,
fast. I think that's what would have been more like. You probably would have got that tag if you would have kept going a little bit more because you're doing too much. It's too much on the field. What I'm saying? You weren't just blocking out there. You're doing
Yeah,
too much. You're catching. You're running. Like that's why I say I kind of compared you to that kind of All-Star. He did a lot
yeah.
more running, but you definitely on that pace, man. All-Star was another beast, man. Another beast running
Oh,
back
dude,
back in the day.
him. Well, I mean, even before us, you had John Williams that was in
Mm-hmm.
Seattle. I mean, you got some guys out there, man.
Strong even at Seattle.
Yep. I mean, it's the guys who came before me. Respect. I mean, beyond respect. Nothing but
After you
honor for those.
started, did you talk to Strong? Get any advice from him? Did he come to you and be like, hey, it's your show now? You know what I'm saying? Did you
Yeah,
have those kind of conversations?
yeah. What happened in 2007, man, is when Max Strong went down. Pittsburgh game, broke his
Mm,
neck, and his retirement was really it was really a sad day,
mm-hmm,
for everybody, of course. But I did have a conversation with him, and he did pass the torch. And I remember Mike Homer coming over to me as well. And you know, once that happened for me, it was never looking back. To have that confidence from both of those men at the time, and to continue to have that support from those gentlemen is just something I'll never forget.
yeah. Uh, so, do you still talk to any of these guys? Any old playmates? Do you still have communication with? Have you been a
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
conversating with them? What I'm saying, do you guys talk about the old days type thing?
No, we don't. I probably will talk to each other via Facebook every now and then because I know a lot of those guys are still tied in with the NFL, PA and stuff like that. And I know for me, coaching high school football and coaching period and training. So no, I don't get a chance to talk to any of them much. But when we do, it's more like, hey man, how you doing? We support you. It's always been, a very supportive and positive conversation.
When did you get into the coaching?
Oh man, I got into that when I was in Seattle in 2006, and
Mm,
never looked back. The year I got hurt, I started my career with under Terry Metcalf when
mm-hmm,
he was at Renton High School, and from
mm-hmm.
there, that was one of the things that I wanted to do when I finished ball was get into coaching, and so now being able to coach high school and looking to go to the next level and to expand my coaching career. I'm just excited about the possibilities.
Offensive defense coach.
I'm more of an offensive guy, but I'm the type of guy that can go anywhere. I'll learn it. I'll,
Mm-hmm.
I'll bust my tail putting it together, and I'm gonna put the best product out there on the field.
You got a good fullback, good backfield over there in your high school. Which
You
high
know
school?
what?
Let everybody know which high school you're coaching.
Well, currently right now, I'm no longer with that high school, but it
Oh.
was Park Vista High School
Mm-hmm.
in Lake Worth, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, we had some good backs. We had some good receivers. Defense was really good. So we had a good winning season this year. Missed
Nice.
the playoffs by a mark. So we put some decent numbers out.
Have you been keeping up with the NFL?
Yeah, I
You know,
definitely keep up with it, man. To see how guys are doing and to see the transformation of everything that's happening, whether it's in the coaching ring or with the players, man. And it's the evolution of the player is something really awesome to see.
mm-hmm.
How fast these guys are and how big they are and how they're
Mm-hmm.
moving and how the game is changing. It's a sight to see.
How would you rate? Do you think you will be able to play in today's NFL just at as high level as you did back in the early 2000s?
Absolutely, not a question.
Who's your favorite running back right now to watch?
I'm gonna be honest with you. If I had to go down my list right now of favorite running backs, it's a young man that came out of Georgia and he's playing for the Detroit Lions. It's by the name of Mr. Swift.
Swift.
That's
Really?
I love Swift, man. I love everything about his game. To me, he's like a Westbrook. To me, with a little bit of shady inside of him. I think, he can move side to side. He can go downhill. He can catch the ball at the backfield. He's a guy you can line up in the slot. I hope that Detroit is able to feature his abilities more. But I mean, now granted, I can always go Derrick Henry, but when you're talking about that's a
King
big
Henry around
beast.
these right now.
Yeah,
That boy is a beast.
He's a big beast type of guy. But I don't think Derrick Henry can go out there in the slot and
He can
catch a stop pass and take it 60 now.
He don't need you though. He'll run it 60.
No, he don't need to. He don't need to. That ain't his thing. That ain't his thing.
I always say Henry's here, and then you gotta go a little bit far down before you start talking about other running backs in the league right now. I know we got some really good ones in the league too, but Henry's a different breed. Like it's like old school and new school mixed together in one. That big physical running back that's going to pound you to death, and then also guess what? He can outrun everybody on your team too, man.
No, that's right. That's right. And that's a guy that you want on your team. And like I said, to me, it's always been about personnel. To me, it's always been about everything you do. But everybody in the league, for one thing, they're there for a reason. And I'll never disrespect any player in the league.
There's never a bad player in the NFL.
Yeah. So I mean, everybody that makes it there, they're there for a reason, and they do something very, very well.
Yeah, man. So you're saying Swift? So that was a shocker.
That's my.
I like Swift, but
go ahead.
I think he just don't get used right, or what? He had the injury bug, right?
I think
he had the injury bug.
What it is there is right now they're going through a bit of a transformation.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's like that every year. It seems like, but I think once they settle down the offense and kind of figure out who's going to be the focus, I think that he's going to. I think his notoriety is going to grow in the league. But I'm not saying there aren't great running backs out there. That's not what I'm saying by any means. I'm just saying if I'm looking at one for me, in my opinion, that's the guy I like the most.
What do you think about Booby?
I mean, I like him. I want to see a little bit more. And like I said, he's in the same.
You see any resemblance to Shady? Because I know a lot of people say he jukes too much, but I always say you go back to Shady. Shady used to juke all the time, and that was his game.
I think the difference in those two is the thing with Shady. I never really saw Shady just necessarily juking at the line. He would break through the hole, cut one way, and then he's coming back all the way the other way, versus Booby, where it's more like he's kind of get to the line like a Le'Veon Bell type of a runner, where it's like a skip, and then hit. So, I would love to see him, kind of come downhill more, but that's his game. If his game is read, make it happen, then that's what he has to do. I just want to see him, continue to grow in his game. And that's, for me, one of the biggest things when I look at a back. Did you evolve? Did you grow from your first year to your second year to your third year? What have you added to your game to make you not only a great runner, but a great pass catcher, a great route runner. You know, those are the things that I look at when it comes to backs. And you know, I want to see, and I think it's also the offense too. You know, that it's still those woes that they're trying to get through. You know, so you know, I
It's like the
believe
league trying to turn into a passing league. So I feel like, you know, with Booby, I feel like, yes, he gets knick-knack injuries too that kind of keep him out, you know. And then last year, everybody wished he got more carries. And then the first 6 games this year, everybody wished he got more carries. But then once he got him, he got hurt. You know, what do you think about that? Because my assumption on that was like the fact that you didn't use him enough. You know what I'm saying? You're passing the ball 40, 50 times a game, you know, for the most part. Like, do you think that affected him? Like, once we, you know, because I think he came back after the Detroit game, if I'm not mistaken. But I know we already started running a lot, you know, because it was like 6 games we didn't run at all. Then we started running the ball, and I realized that was it. Then he came back, and like he started out hot, and then he got hurt again, you know what I'm saying, after a game or whatnot. So do you think the fact that you're not getting used has an effect on your body to make you a little bit more injury prone, as opposed to like if you're that back and you're getting carries every single game in, game out, you know what I'm saying, your body's kind of getting used to it as the season progresses?
Well, I think that's kind of like for me. I tell you what, I'll answer it like this. I think the reason why guys continue to stay injury prone, and this is just my opinion, is that they're constantly trying to play through the injury they already have. You know, he's a guy that seems like, to me, he has the warrior spirit, you know, and most guys in the NFL do. You know, if you're any type of player that cares about your name or cares about the game, like I believe he does, you don't want to be hurt. And so what you're going to try to do is fight through whatever injury you have. And unfortunately, with the way injuries work, it's almost like they're all connected. So for instance, if I spring my foot, you know, and I go out there and I rehab for 2 weeks or whatever, it's supposed to be healed, because you really don't know when you're really healed. I mean, we have different criteria, you know, 3 weeks you're good, you know, but everybody's body's different. But you go back out there after those 3 weeks and you're not fully healed, you make a cut, now you tear your hamstring. Well, it's like, well, man, why he's always injured? Well, the reality of it is this man is probably trying to get back because he wants to be a part of the team. He wants to be a part of the game. He knows what he can offer to the offense. So, of course, he goes out there, busts his tail, and then he get injured again. Well, that's usually because maybe something was probably, you know, triggered from the first injury. So, and I'm not saying that's 100% fact for everything.
Yeah, I get
But
you.
I'm saying, in terms of my opinion, I believe a lot of times that's what it is. If you don't ever...
We've seen that with Carson.
Yeah, right. I mean,
you know,
yeah.
As Carson started to go down, like he was always rushing to get back, try to take the team to the Super Bowl again. You know, for some reason he didn't get a satisfaction that we wanted finally. You know, and he just seen him, like his play kind of affected his whole overall play. He's trying to win a Super Bowl in every throw.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? He's trying too hard, and when you're trying too hard to do something that's supposed to be fun and easy, it's not gonna work out. You know what I'm saying? You can't.
It's not. And unfortunately, it makes things compile on top of each other. So you get injured one time, you come back, you get injured again, you come back because you're racing back. Now the front office is looking at you like you're injury prone. And that's really not the case, because your heart is, man, I'm really trying to get back to play this game. But then the way it looks is that you can't get back because you're always hurt. And then you're always hurt because you're always getting hurt for whatever the reason. Maybe it's the physicality of the game. And I can't say and speak to the fact that this man doesn't work out. He is a well put together individual. I mean, when you look at him, he has big thighs, you know, he's broad shoulders. I mean, he's a well put together young man. So I can't go and say, well, no, it's the weight room. No, it might not be that. I think he's in a situation where he's trying to come back. He wants to show his ability. I think he wants to show what he's capable of. And I really believe in my heart that he wants to show that he can last through an entire season and really put the team on his back. And when you put that pressure on yourself to be all those things sometimes, coupled with some injuries that may have not healed, I think you kind of run into those injury complications, and it makes things probably a little worse.
How big is it? Because we both, I heard you say too, you know, everybody in NFL is talented, you know, the 1%ers that even make it. You know what I'm saying? You got millions of colleges, millions of semi-pro leagues, and all this stuff, you know, and only that 1% actually make it into the NFL. So, athleticism is not the problem. How big is that mental side? Like the whole, now you're, you know, say you're small school, now you're in front of a lot of people. Say you're, you know, used to being the guy, and now you're third or fourth string type guy. Like, how big is that kind of pressure on an NFL player these days? Like, just for the young people to know, like the young people coming in, like what would you tell them, to watch out for?
It's a tremendous thing. Mental toughness is probably the number one thing. I don't know if you've ever heard the quote that the game of football is 90% mental and 10% physical. That plays true for a lot of things, and that's currently what I'm getting my degree in, which I'll end up graduating in May with sports psychology, man, is dealing with the athlete and how they deal with stress. That affects your ability to be able to showcase your talent. And I don't think a lot of young people understand that. It's a lot of pressure when you're not used to playing in front of those people, and then you do 60,000, but it's a matter of what your focus is. If you're a person that's so worried about what other people think, then this game's not for you. But if you can come in and say, look, I'm here to do my job. I'm here to focus on what I love to do. And it's almost like, I believe Kobe Bryant kind of put it this. I watched Kobe have a conversation with Nick Saban. And, basically what he was saying, it's pretty much your perspective. That's what the psychology is. How do you view this situation? Is it a challenge, or is it something that you're going to be fearful of? Because fear, to me, I don't think ever motivates nobody. It's not created to motivate you. It's not fear that motivates you, but it's the fact of you being confident in what you can do that I believe motivates you the positive and right way. So for all those young people that's looking to come to the NFL or looking to make that transition, you do need to be mentally tough. But the way you work through that, the first part of it is understanding who you are, and what you're capable of. When you figure what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are, then you're able to work on your weaknesses to make them greater, because when you think about it, weaknesses can always be improved.
Yes.
On the field, your play can always be improved. It's just a matter of you being able to recognize it. Be honest with yourself. Be transparent with yourself. And if you ever get to the point where you feel like you can't ever be corrected, that'll be the day that you fall.
Nah.
And
with
so
social media
people,
too.
yeah, absolutely. Don't let people, keep you distracted. Don't let what people say keep you distracted, and don't let the media and all these other sources keep you distracted. Focus on what your game is. Do what you do best, and accomplish the goals that you write down and set out to accomplish.
And you played with a quarterback in Donovan Knapp, Big Five. Probably my second favorite all time Eagles quarterback ever. You know what I'm saying? I'm an old school, so I'm going Randall Cunningham being my first best Eagle quarterback. You know what I'm saying? But Big Five is definitely up there. What would you say about Jalen Hurts? Did you watch the season? Are you a fan? You're still an Eagles fan, right?
I'm a fan, man.
Or you're just a football fan?
I'm a football fan, but I'm also, and I look at the game from a coach's perspective as well. I like Jalen Hurts, and I think a lot of people need to understand this. And this is my opinion, that he's come through a system. He's come through a few systems. Number one, do you remember the quarterback in Washington, Campbell? How many systems he had? Yeah, you remember? I mean, he went through so many different systems, and it's hard to reacclimate yourself, I believe, as a quarterback when you go through so many things. I don't think Jalen, of course, have gone through that many changes, but I do believe he has to be given an opportunity to continue to get better. I think the expectation for him is high, which it should be. And I think he understands that. But I love his work ethic. I love his focus. I love the fact that he's not afraid of the confrontation. Those are the type of things that you look for, to me, that I look for, that I believe helps catapult a team, accompanied with putting the right group of guys around him that can help him succeed. So I'm a fan of him, and I believe that he's going to be a great quarterback. I believe he is going to be have another outstanding year. He's a guy that I look at that he continues to grow every single year. Every year since he's come in, he hasn't been stagnant to me. And I know we got stats. I know there are so many different stats that you can look at out there. Oh yeah. I don't care about the stats. At the end of the day, what I'm looking at is, man, how is this guy affecting his locker room? How is he affecting those? And if those guys believe in Jalen, if those guys trust Jalen, that's all that matters.
Yeah, I feel like that too. I tell everybody, because the fan base right now is definitely split. Some people want to go try to get one of these big name quarterbacks. I'm like, he's 23 years old. Hi, Little Weaver. Yeah, he's 23 years old. He hasn't, like you said, he has not played the same system since all the way back to the Alabama days.
That's right.
He's been Oklahoma, Dougie Pease. and then now Nick Sirianni. So it's been a transformation in the system. This could be his first time going into it. And what I tell people is you got to look at the whole position as a whole. 19 games in, 23 years old, there's plenty of room to grow. Plenty of room to grow. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can mold this kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's still like, he had highs, he had lows, but even his lows, he wasn't a turnover machine this year like some rookies are out there when they come in, or first year starters. He had 9 turnovers. Everybody want Russ. I'm like, Russ had 3,100 yards passing. Jalen had 3,100 yards passing, but he also added 800 yards rushing plus another 10 touchdowns there. So I look at his numbers. I think a lot of people don't.
To me, he's an X factor. He's not yet gotten the Randall Cunningham status, but he does have the Randall Cunningham ability. And when you allow a quarterback, when you have a quarterback who's versatile, not only his passing ability, but can run, to me, that opens up the offensive playbook. But now, like you just said, you alluded to earlier, that was his first year in the offense, and I don't think people understand in the NFL, you either want to come in and open up your playbook and say, no, we're going gutso and we're going to do this, or we're not. And I think for him, the transition from this year to next year is going to be drastically different because he's going to have more grasp and understanding of what Nick's looking for, what's to be expected, and I think that's going to help benefit him, because it takes time. Offense is something that does take time to build that continuity between other players, especially depending on what kind of system you have. I mean, because it's not just about putting the offense together, right? If anybody that has any football knowledge understands, it's really about your personnel. If you don't have the personnel to go spread and all you can do is power, then god dang it, you better do power, so it's just one of those things where I think they're working out the kinks. They're trying to get an understanding of each other. Nick is trying to, get into Jalen. Jalen's trying to understand Nick so they can be on the same page. And I think people need to understand this. That was the difference between Doug and with Carson and with Nick. Nick understood what Doug was saying. Carson sometimes did, but you can kind of tell there's a little friction here and there a little bit sometimes. But when you're in sync with the OC and what he's trying to do, it makes, to me, the offense that much more significant and powerful because now you see things the way the coach is seeing things, and then vice versa.
Yeah, that's what I said. Just give him another year. Like if he's doing making the same mistakes as you say, what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's anything to do with arm talent or none of that stuff. I think it's just more and then like you've seen us, we made it to the playoffs this year. We were 9-7, but at the end of the day, our team was not ready to be in the playoffs. First year coach, the way we were coaching, the talent level on our team. I feel like the NFL is kind of going more towards like an NBA team thing. You seen last year Tampa Bay go grab up all these guys plus Brady. This year you go see the Rams go out there and they got OBJ, they got Cooper Kupp, they got Van Jefferson. Higbee tight end, like 3 running backs over there, that all could start on other people's teams. Like, and then you're Von Miller, Aaron Donald, the best defense, like Leonard Floyd, like all these guys, it takes a full team. Like I tell everybody too, it's like there's not really any quarterbacks that put up elite numbers, to have besides Brady. And I even like for me, I'm a Brady fan, but I'm not as high as everybody else. Let's just say that. What I'm saying? Like, I'm not.
There's an element of
Brady's the best guy in the world type thing. What I'm saying? Like, did I go his first couple years game manager when he won Super Bowls with the team? That to me, the Super Bowl is a team thing. You can be the best quarterback in the world, and not make it. What I'm saying? Not win the Super Bowl. You see Dan Marino, he didn't win a ring. You got guys like Peyton Manning, only won 2. Well,
I mean, if you think about it too, even with Tom, I mean, Tom is who he is, but he also had another quarterback as his coordinator, and they saw things the same. They were able to get on a page with each other so quickly based on what Tom knew, and of course, I'm pretty sure there was some changes to some things because of what Tom knew. There was I don't think there was a totally new playbook that they said, hey, learn all this, Tom. No. When he came in, it's like, hey, what do you like? What do you don't like? What do we have to create? And that's a part of being on the same page and understanding who you are. And, I mean, I'm with you, man. At the end of the day, I do think that Jalen needs another year for sure. And I think this year is going to be a difference in his play, his leadership. And like I said, he's a strong man. I mean, he's a strong young man. I mean, mentally and physically. The way he handles himself, he's not really a a guy that gets pushed over easy. So, like I said, when you have that level of focus and determination, success is it's inevitable not to have success.
And why give up all your draft picks? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
give up all your draft picks, give up all your draft cap or your free agency money. Like, we ain't even had no money in off season for like a while now.
Yeah.
Now we got money and we got picks. Go build your team. If you're talking
Absolutely.
about rebuilding, you gotta go build this team. Jalen's on a rookie contract for 2 more years.
No, that's right. And
I wouldn't even think about moving him
that's the guy
until the end of that second year, when it comes to re-up time. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
'Cause by then,
you want to build around him, you know, and continue to build this team and make it solid. And like you said, you know, watch him grow and thrive, because his career has been the same way. He continues to thrive. He continues to thrive. And I think he's going to have great success with it.
What do you think the Eagles need to do this offseason?
You know, looking back, there are a few things. I think, you know, this communication between the defense and what's going on there, they got to sure that up. I'm a big fan of, I'm not saying players run everything, but I am a big fan that if you got some guys who are some veterans out there, and I take this from Mike Holmgren's book, where when you got veterans who know the game very well, they play for a long time. I'm not saying they call the shots, but I think it works to listen. To listen, to hear, and see, hey man, what you seeing out there? Because at the end of the day, you know, even at the high school level, you know, I've learned over the years being a head coach that my players may see things way different from me. And instead of me just being that guy that says, no, this is the way it's going to be, blah blah blah. Well, maybe let me just watch and see what he's saying and develop that relationship. So to me, the relationship, you know, the trust has to come back, and then I think from there, it's, you know, seeing what players can come into that locker room that can give us a boost in terms of the camaraderie and bringing it together, and that can make a difference. And that's where I think I can't go as far as specific draft picks right now, because it's still a little early. It's a lot of speculation because players, you know, it was a tough year. It was a tough year. But I think linebacker, you know, we got to, you know, hit the linebacker position. You know, I think the nickel position as well, and safety we got to work on a little bit as well. But, you know, I think and we get a couple more receivers as well, you know, and see what happens.
Do you think we could pull a Bengals type thing, you know, where this offseason go out there and get the pieces to be in the Super Bowl next year? You think it'd be that fast of a turnaround?
Hey, I'm going to tell you this. I know anything's possible.
Right. Well, hey, man, we over an hour and 12, man. I didn't even think about it. I just looked up, man.
That's what happens when you're having a good time, man. That's what happens when you're having a good time.
It's been good. It's been fun. Tell me, give me some of your favorite, you know, from the time you played with the Eagles till now, you know, give me a starting offense. Who's your favorite players that if you had to put up together? Now, you usually do the all-time team, like, all the way through, but you could just go offense for me.
Oh, man. See, I tell you what, since I only had one season there, well, technically two, one playing, you know, I would have to say, man.
You can use, you know,
say what?
Anybody. You use anybody on the Eagles ever.
Man, I tell you what, as far as what I played with, man, I'm gonna go here. As far as at my O-line, you know, I like Big Trey at the one tackle. Now, I'm gonna tell you, for me, I would move Peters to the right side. All right. They're interchangeable to me. So you can put Trey on the left or on the right and put, you know, Big Peters on the inside, man. I love Harriman's, man. He plays hard. Jamal, to me, man, one of the best centers to play the game. That's just to me, you know. And my right guard, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'll probably move Kels to guard. You know, if I had a guy.
The guard?
Yeah, I'll probably
little guy? You want to move Jamal over the guard?
I guess I could. I guess I could. But, you know, I'm kind of going off of guys I kind of play with. I'm kind of watch playing.
I got you.
At receiver, man, I would love to have Jackson back there. I mean, I don't think I've seen too many guys that can stretch the field like him. I love my guy Macklin. I'm a Brent Selleck fan. Honestly, for me, I'm a Selleck fan. Playing with him, I would love to put him at the Y. Of course, have myself in the backfield, okay,
right,
at the fullback position, and then of course Shady, you know, and actually I would probably go Westbrook and then Shady.
Yeah, like wait, you said
I would probably do it. And then I'll put my man Sanders back there, but I'll put him back there as well, you know, to have a little scat back action as well. Then my quarterback, man, I tell you, play with Mike and play with Donovan. You know, I love playing with Donovan. And it was only for a short period of time with both. But man, Mike Vick I'll probably have to put Mike Vick back there, man.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Jay Hurts, baby. Go put Jay Hurts.
No, man. No,
yeah,
in all truth and honesty, man, it's really hard to peg it just because I feel like for me, I didn't play long enough to really, name as many guys that were within the organization who I believe helped catapult the Eagles organization. Yeah. To be truthfully honest, because there are some players that played even before some of the guys that I named who were phenomenal. I mean, Harold Carmichael. I mean,
Randall.
Randall. You can't forget any of those guys. So, in all honesty, man, it would be tough for me to put a team together, but I have enjoyed it.
How was Michael Vick seeing him run full speed in person?
It reminded me back in 2005 when I first
saw another cheat code on Madden.
Man, I don't think I've ever seen nobody. Now, when he first came out, he was struggling. He couldn't run. He tried. I remember Sante Samuel one day in practice was giving him the business, just laughing and picking on him because he tried to take off and he fell face first and he hadn't quite got his legs. Yeah, having a good time. But once he got back into shape, I tell you what, man, it was a sight to watch that dude run and play that and could flick a ball without even thinking, man. Just throw that mug like 6
rocket on.
So, man, crazy bomb. But yeah, man, that's with all seriousness.
Nice, man. Well, hey, man, thanks again. Do you play Madden at all?
Yeah, so if anybody wants them, you can just hit me up. Now, I'm on 21. I got to go get 22, I think. Okay. But, my tag name, in case anybody out there wants
I do. I'm ready for it.
All right,
bring Jalen Hurts at you, baby.
No,
bring Hurts.
Pay attention now. It's That's Right, all day, 24/7, 365. Just let it sink in. It's long, but let it sink in.
The whole thing's your tag?
Yeah. Let it sink in. Yeah, that's right. Let it sink in. That's right.
Wow.
All day. You hear me? You hear what I'm saying? That's right.
You take this recorder, I can hit the play back. What do you say again? Hold on.
That's right. Not a portion of the day, not like, hey,
it's all caps.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so that's THATS. Okay, that's right. All right. All day. It's all together. It's smushed together.
That's
all
right.
Day,
all day.
24/7. That means
24/7.
All day. 365.
I got you.
All year long.
I like it. And mine's easy. BIRDGANG 31. BIRDGANG_31, baby.
I tell you what, we may have to just do a show together again and, get a people about a good hour maybe and let them see.
Let's go.
It is, man.
I do that.
I think people love that.
Game into my channel. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't played man like 2 years until I just started playing recently a couple months ago.
Definitely, yeah.
It was rough. It's a rough start. Going live and I had all my fans in the chat just making fun of me. BIRDGANG, you suck. But lately, since I got back in the swing of things, I've been getting them.
There's some dudes and some girls out there who can play. You hear me, man? I mean, phenomenal players out there, and I respect all of them, man. So
I just don't like the glitchers. So all you glitchers out there, what I'm saying? You know who you are. Because I played this one guy, and I swear, every play, all my guys were on the ground, and I was mad. I'm like, wait. I played this team before with somebody with this team before. I know for a fact Fletcher Costa ain't getting thrown on the ground every single play. That this is fake. Something going on here. You know what I'm saying? I don't take those L's very lightly.
I don't either, man. I still got a little fire in my bones. I still talk a little trash too. So I try to get on making funny games. But I'm tell you right now, if I get up 21-0 in the first quarter, it's over. I may score 60. I don't know.
Whoa. Okay, I like that fire. You say it's PS5?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay, you got
no.
You gonna see the gamer tag link about to get sent.
I haven't advanced to the 5. I'm still at the 4 right now, so I don't know if they can interchange. I'm not sure.
Well, everybody, because I got a lot of people too that said they want to still play me, and they're on the 4. If you get when you buy the game on the 5, there's a version of the game that lets you play the 4. I gotta see how that works.
Okay. Well, maybe I have to upgrade my 5 because, like I said, it's been a little while. But that's me talking trash. But I'm
ready
game though. I ain't gonna back down from no challenge. So BIRDGANG 31, I'm letting you know right now, boss. You better bring it because if you don't, you ain't gonna ever not hear L Dub talk about how.
At first you don't succeed, then you dust yourself off and try again. That's what I like to say. Because I'm gonna come back even harder next time. I'm like, hold on, Weaver. Give me 2 days. Let me be in. I'll be up here 24 hours. No, man, I ain't going to bed right now. Hold on.
Look, you better go get your film ready. Go watch your film. Get your playbook ready, baby, because I'm bringing.
You run heavy or pass heavy on Madden?
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm probably a little bit of both, man. It just depends on the situation. I'm a situational guy. Yeah, you know, it just depends on the situation, man. It feels how I'm feeling that day. You know, if I feel
All
like
right,
my
I
neck,
got you.
if I feel like I
got
did
you.
enough,
Well, I'm bringing
if I
run
did enough
heavy
neck
because
curls,
that's the only real way I can play with the new Eagles. You
yeah.
know, you got to bring that run heavy. Those receivers don't be doing me no justice out there. You know, for just Monte Smith. So, you know, we're gonna definitely get into that, man.
Oh, man.
Hey, man. Are you working on anything? You know, just saying, do you have any channels or anything you want people to go check you out at?
No, I
Or
haven't been working on anything lately, man. Literally, just looking to go to the next level as far as coaching right now. You know, making the transition. But right now, just relaxing, man. Got a third baby on the way here. So I'm just
congratulations.
thank you very much. Just chilling with the family, man, and that's
I got
what.
a
Just
whole
looking to go
flock
to the
over
next
here.
level. Yeah.
Got a whole flock. Got 7 of these little guys, these little eaglets running
Oh
around.
man, congratulations to you too, brother. That's congratulations to you too.
But yeah, man, it's been fun, man. Hey, you definitely need to do it again if you ever want to. You know, so hit me up, let me know, and shout out to you for coming by, man. Much love to you.
Absolutely, BIRDGANG, man. I appreciate the opportunity, man, and hello and peace to everybody out there watching, man.
And
Take
y'all
care.
know what I do at the end of my video. Fly, Eagles, fly. And we
On
out.
the
Peace.
peace.